What's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. It is time for Proper Royals Live. We're trying something new tonight. I got 3 guests, and I don't know how to control all the buttons. So for right now, you're just going to have to follow who's talking and where and all of that sort of thing. We'll do that, though. Tonight, we got Stephen and Courtney from Leviathan Snakes. We got Dave Rambo from Ball Python Love, and Evan Kolstad is up in Waukesha, Wisconsin. I've been practicing all week. I wanted to nail it, get it right. The ice is just starting to come back on the lakes. The muskies are going deep in. I don't know. I'm making up all my nonsense about what I think I know Wisconsin right now. And we're just going to talk ball pythons tonight. So hobbyists, breeders, if you're selling, if you're just a pet owner having fun, I say just, that's what the hobby rests on. That's very important as well. So stick around tonight. Audience is definitely a Q&A and active participation kind of evening. Thank you all for being here. We're starting with 9 people out of the gate, and I don't think that counts the 4 that are on the show with me. So let's hit the music and we'll get this show started. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, so welcome, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. I'll do a quick, I kind of like, you know what I'm going to do? I got just a sort of a cool story about each of the people on here of kind of how we connected, and then I'll let them introduce themselves. So it's really a cool full circle moment for me, because what a lot of people, probably nobody realizes, is Dave Rambo had a show called Pythons and Exotics with another co-host in the past. And they were the very first ones to ever host me online. And I definitely was just starting out. I hadn't bred anything. I was just into this whole new world. It was the middle of the pandemic. We drank a bunch of beer that night. There's video record of it out there. We had a really good time. And all joking aside, you guys were killer hosts to me. And I don't know if I came on I know for sure once, twice, and I think I did just some quick like pop-ons, but you guys were awesome to me. And now fast forward, it's been I wouldn't say at least, but it's been a year, and I started a show, and now you're on mine, and Dave still keeps his own show going. Tell us about your show, about your channel, Dave.
Ball Python Love, BPO. I have ball pythons only. I do breed my own rats, and I pretty much go live every night. I like to interview random people that I've never met. It's fun. You get to learn different, how people do their own animals and all that. You get to see other things you don't have. Like, it's pretty cool meeting everyone in the reptile community. And it's just a great way, I think, to keep everyone stronger together is by meeting everyone and getting everyone's name out there and spreading the love and positivity about it.
And I got to tell you, man, you're not screwing around either. He's had Miguel's been on his show before. Brian Cusco's been on his show. Who was the guy the other night? He has 100,000 followers. Dude's got alligators in his garage. Who was that?
Gator Pool Gators.
Every night you got somebody, and he's not joking either when he says he does it 5-6 nights a week. So anyhow, check out Dave's channel, Ball Python Love. Evan, I'm not sure where we first interacted, Evan. You have to tell us, either on this show or on Instagram. You were following me or I was following you, and we got talking. And what the hook for me was that Evan started flashing like 10 Ultramels and a couple Pieds that he picked up at Tinley Park. Like, that's just another Tuesday in Chicago, And so that alone is worth the price of admission. Evan, tell us what you got going on.
Well, I think I started following you on Instagram and started watching you on YouTube. Pretty avid YouTube watcher for a while with my job. The county that I work for, I'm a juvenile detention officer, and the county decided to close the juvenile detention center. So towards the end there, they weren't bringing any kids in, and I had 8 hours of nothing to do but sit and look at an empty cell block. And so I spent 8 hours a day pretty much on YouTube watching videos. It's pretty amazing that I never ran across Ball Python Love, because I would have probably watched a gazillion hours of his videos too, because I've been watching them in the last week whenever I have some free time. I'm in a full-time job now, so I don't have as much time. But back to my story, basically, a friend of mine, a guy that I used to breed Western hognoses about 8 years ago, and the guy that I bought them from, basically, we got in contact and some things went down, and he asked me if I'd ever be interested in getting back into reptiles, and it just so happens that he's going to be building a building, and there's a couple of us that are going to collaborate together, and have some pretty interesting stuff's going to be coming down the pipe with the four of us. There's 4 guys all together. We're going to kind of combine.
You guys are doing a full-on kind of collective model, right? In that building together, will all the collections be stored there?
For the most part, yes. We're going to have Kluberds. I mean, it's the Kluberd collection right now is pretty endless. That's my buddy CF Snakes, and his name's Chad Fuchs. He was the one I bought my original hognose from. He's been in the hobby forever. He's pretty much a guy who's underground, and no social media whatsoever. I think he has a video. You can look up CF Snakes on YouTube. I think he has one video from a long time ago, getting ready to go to Daytona.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's pretty much a guy that's been around forever, knows a lot of people.
Does he vend
so
the
he
shows?
asked me if
just go to them. Does he vend the shows or just go to them?
He vends the shows. Daytona he vends, and then a lot of the area shows here in Wisconsin. Sewerfest is coming up. But my story goes, he asked me if I would be interested in getting back into reptiles, and I was like, well, I don't have room at my house and to do it right. And he let me know what was going on with this building that he's going to be building. There'd be room there for me if I'd be interested. That was in March, April-ish. So I started researching what I wanted to do with ball pythons, and did a lot of talking, endless hours on Morph Market, watching the market and how things are selling. And long story short, I was going to do Desert Ghost stuff, but Chad and another guy pretty much had that covered with Clown, and so I opted into Ultramel. So this last Tinley, I went in and bought 10 females, and 10
female Ultramels.
10 female Ultramels, with eight Ultramels and 2 pieds that are het Ultramel, and one of my Ultramels is het pied of the females. So they're all babies. So I got 2 years to figure out the game and where we're going to head with that. Okay. So that's kind of what I did this. Yeah.
So Steven, hot take. You keep an eye closer on the market than anybody I know, I think. Right here, right now, Desert Ghost or Ultramel. You got $1,000 to spend. Which one are you buying?
Right now, Desert Ghost. I think Ultramel's awesome.
You got $1,000 to spend. Good luck getting you an Ultramel.
Oh, okay, sorry. You got enough to spend to get one or the other. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I think both projects are awesome, but I feel like Desert Ghost goes with literally everything.
Everything. Yep.
Yeah.
I've always been a
nice,
like when I buy, I always go not ball pythons specifically, just things in general. I tend to go against what the market's doing at the moment, and I don't know. I almost feel like Desert Ghost has too much of a head of steam on it. I think Ultramel might be a good sleeper. I think in 3 years the market's going to be like everything's going to have Desert Ghost in it in 3 years.
Yep, I agree with that.
It's not a bad thing.
When me and Steven were talking, I do kind of the same thing he does. I spent hours on Morph Market, and I would write down snakes, who was selling them, and then I would watch how long it would take for them to sell. And I literally have a notebook full of probably the last 7 months of Desert Ghost stuff being sold, how much it's, kind of what it was sold for, and I would keep track of what sold when. What made me go to the Ultramel is that the people that I'm going in with, they have Desert Ghost and Clown covered. I mean, they already have Desert Ghost and Clown males to put to females this year. So that part's pretty much taken care of. And then the other guy that is going to be in with us, he has pied stuff pretty much taken care of. That was the other thing I want. I own my first snake I bought in June, I think it was. I bought a pied, and then as we were researching with each other and kind of collaborating with each other what we were, and we all of a sudden came up with the fact we shouldn't overlap what we're doing. We should just get together and try to bring all of our stuff together, as our females get older and start breeding and our projects get rolling forward. Now we have everything to mix and match into everything. So I don't know, it's going to be pretty darn exciting when we get rolling with this, I think.
Yeah, when all those mature and you're able to crossbreed with such a wide variety of ingredients, it's going to be phenomenal in there.
And all the recessives, and I shouldn't say all of the recessives, but all the popular what's going on right now in the market, I think we got that pretty much covered. And then talking with Steven, I did some research on Sunset too, and that's probably something along the way that will slowly get put into Ultramel for me for sure after talking with him, and he sent that picture of that Ultramel and Sunset mix. That's a pretty snake.
Sunset boy in with an Ultramel girl right now.
So yeah.
Nice.
So
Hoping to make some double hits tonight.
Amen.
So speaking of Steven and Courtney, sorry, we didn't make it all the way through the introduction. So Steven and Courtney have always been really good to me. We met 4 or 5 months back now, and then had the pleasure of meeting up in Daytona and hanging out. But y'all have been, I think, the highest number of times on the show helping me out too. So very grateful and hugely supportive. And I learn a lot from you. I hope we bounce ideas creatively off each other and that sort of thing. But it's been a real pleasure working with you all as well. So those of y'all watching that haven't seen and don't know Leviathan Snakes, give us a quick once over and tell us about what you got going on.
You want to do it? Okay. So my name's Steven, and Courtney actually started Leviathan Snakes. And when she had gotten a pet ball python, best pet ever, she approached me asking. She was asking if what if she bred snakes, just like as a hobby level. And I loved Amos. He was the best pet ever. I was like, I don't know.
That's weird.
And it took probably about another 2 or 3 months or so before I was like, okay, I kind of want to get one too. And then she showed me Morph Market, and now I'm addicted.
I missed the one detail there. So this was all Courtney's idea.
Courtney started.
So anytime there's a challenge, you could just be like, you did that. You started this. That's why there's another box out.
Yeah.
No, 100%. So the thing is, Courtney started it. She also runs it. I buy snakes. That's what I do.
He just spends the money. That's all.
No, if somebody interacts with us on Morph Market, Courtney is the one who handles all of the replies. She ships. Courtney it's Leviathan Snakes is Courtney's. I'm just here because I like to buy snakes.
But he's the face because he's good at social media and he likes to buy snakes. But he's giving me too much credit because a lot of the projects I wanted to make things with albino and banana and freeway were the ones that I picked. Steven's the one who wanted to go into sunset and clown and the actually bigger things. I just wanted to have a little hobby. So yeah, it worked out really well. So for us so far, and we've had a really good first season.
Very nice. And how's the any progress on the building? You got a 10 by 20 going up?
Yes. So our friends over at the 12 by 20, but our friends over at the Nick Breeders have been amazing, really, really helpful for us. They work in construction, and their friend Mike has come out and they helped us hook up the power because the electrician, literally to hook up the power for a 12 by 20 shed and install the mini split, the electrician quoted us $8,000 for it.
Oh,
and it was that is stupid.
That's as much as we spent on the shed. So
you can run your own wire.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Yeah.
I'll shock myself before
Red, white, green,
Yeah.
you're black, white, green. Black's your power, white's your neutral, green's your ground. I mean, you can.
So we had a friend, the Will and Jennifer over at the Nake Breeders. They helped us out because they're they know what they're doing, and it's great. So we got the power, we've got the insulation up. We just need to do drywall and floors.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so once we get all that stuff done, we'll be moving the snakes out there.
You should see me putting up insulation 7 months pregnant on the ceilings.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting there on Instagram, and I'll be like, "Good job."
Yeah. That's not even a joke. That's what happens. I'm just kidding. He helps.
So I don't know if they're kidding.
No, we're not.
But so the power's in. It's going now.
Yeah. Power's on. Power's on.
You still do the mini split and the disconnect on it or not?
The mini split is it's like 90% installed.
I think we've just got to get the outside unit going. We talked to someone recently to see what was going on there, and I think
So you're just bypassing it right now?
Right now, there's no animals are out there.
Yeah,
No, what I'm saying as far as electricity. Oh, the AC mini split. I thought you were talking about the electrical disconnect. Yeah. The mini split. That one. You'll get that.
Yeah, they just need to come back out and finish hooking it up was all. But we're excited about it.
Yeah. No,
so
that's
the rodents out there.
Oh, I bet.
How do those mini?
Yeah, you keeping them in your house?
Yeah, I'm ready for them.
How do those mini splits work? Is that an air conditioner heater type thing?
Yeah.
That maintains a constant temperature.
Yeah. So it's like any, I want to say central air, except that it's ductless. So it's just whatever room it's in. That's the only one it's doing it on.
Okay.
That's why I'm looking at mine right now. I love mine, and I got the thermostat right on my phone if I want. So, yeah, you can program it a lot of different ways. So because this is my office out here as well. So I have the mini split for kind of the ambient temperature, and then inside the room, there's a room inside this room, which is the snakes, and that has. In the summer, I keep the door open so the mini split monitors that. In the wintertime, it's got its own oil and oil register in there on a thermostat as well.
So
hopefully, see, I need a snake breeder that's got the plumber hookup. When I left the restaurant, I purchased the industrial sink from the back dock out there, and it's there. It's a 72-inch. Big basins. I could bathe in the thing. I mean, it's huge. It'll be great for washing tubs and everything. I need one of the overhead spray, like commercial dishwasher sprayer kind of deal. We lost Dave somewhere between here and Reno.
So I do have actually a question, which I don't know if you had questions prepared that you wanted to talk about.
No, this is hanging out.
Okay, and we might have to repeat it once Dave comes back on. But I was curious, and this is kind of a random question, I was thinking about it earlier today. When do you guys decide, if you have any like conscious decision on it, when to do like a pair of animals, when to do like a full-on project, and when you're just going to kind of like just dabble in something? So you might not even have a pair, but you might just be like, I want one animal with this just in case in the future something happens.
So if I understand the question right, I think I fall in I think I have a collection of just individuals. I've always focused on genes that I want to get through a collection versus going, okay, I'm only buying these two because I want them to do this.
I'm slightly different. I'm not trying to recreate something that's already done. When I talked to Brian Cusco, I actually gave away that night like 2 or 3 world's first that's never been made. And I'm not knocking on people that, breed the same thing. That's fucking awesome. But like, since I'm doing this, like, I'm sorry for the language if I said the F word, but like, I am trying to nail a world's first and have my name down in the record books, and then I'll sell it, but at least my name went down in the record book. But like, that's what I'm after. Like, I feel like, there's so many ones that, don't go together. And I understand, do not do spider to spider. That's stupid. I get it. But there's some genes out there that no one's put together. Like, that's my main focus and goal about breeding them. Like I want to hit stuff that's never been produced, and I could be like, wow, that's me.
No, that's awesome.
And Evan, you went pretty specific project oriented on yours.
Yeah, I went all in on Ultramel, and it's pretty much because of the collaborative. I think is, I gotta throw that in there, and the reason I think I might have done this way anyway, and then I'm looking, my plan is the future. So when next year I'm going to be buying males, or maybe so next year I'll be buying my Ultramel pied male, who I'll just buy as many genes in that animal as I can possibly find. I've been kind of keeping track now off of Instagram on who's into Ultramel but has more. Right now Ultramel, if you look around, even on pictures on Instagram, they're all single gene animals for the most part. Very rarely do you get very rarely do you get multi-gene animals. So my goal is for my pieds is to go in pieds, and then I got or to buy that male with as many genes, and then I'm going to buy another male or two to go into the rest of them that has as many genes as I possibly can buy. That's going to, like I have Mojave two of them in Mojave. I have a blackhead, I have a leopard, and then my power girl was the one I put on Instagram. She's a spot nose, which if anyone ever hears me refer to spot nose, and for some reason it slips off my tongue and I always say snot nose. So my spot nose fire, yellow belly, Ultramel, that's my power girl. So I'm just going to try to find males that will not give me white snakes in the end. That's somewhat like the Mojave, I believe, is one. I got to pay attention to what goes to them to.
End up with the super Mojave or an ivory, and that be like, man, you can't even tell. Like you got to breed that out and be like, yeah, it's been proven.
Yep. One of the things I am going to try to do though is like super blackhead. Those I just seen some of those just the other day, and I'm like, holy cow! That in Ultramel will just any of the dark genes I think is where I'm going to try to head to, just because that would get all those that the browns will turn more of that bluish purple. I mean, I don't want to even use the word blue, but it's just that lavender color. I really enjoy that. So that's kind of where I'm headed with mine. And then, nice. I got my two just regular Ultramels, and those are going to be projects that I'm going to go together with some of the guys I'm with. Those are going to be probably, I'm going to try to get as many recessives into that as I possibly can, those two females. And then it's the future from there. I just, I can't predict today what's going to happen next year with these Ultramels. I'm just going to buy.
In 2 years, this is going to change and evolve. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm just going to stay on top of the projects and just keep elevating that project to the max as I can.
Yeah.
Stephen and Courtney, what about you all? Which methods or paths do you take?
So we do it more project oriented, but we have several projects going at one time. So not nearly as in depth as like Evan has, where he has really focused on all of his stakes having the Ultramel gene. We have X amount of animals per project. So we have the sunset stuff, and now some of those females might go for both. So we have one of our females who is a high OD Mojave Fire Yellow Belly. Enchi, who's also going to be in our freeway, but we're going to pair her to Sunset first because we want those genes in Sunset. And I mean, that Sunset might come over to freeway at some point too. So it'll be interactive in that way. But one thing that I really like is always having pet grade. Pet grade. I mean, they're all, anything could be a pet, but I mean, your pet owners are going to want something in $200 range. So we really like having a bell clutch, not very many, not like a bunch of them, but one Mystic Potion clutch a year, a couple banana clutches a year, in addition to those projects that we work. So
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
that we're excited about.
But yeah,
Yeah,
our three biggest ones would be Sunset, Freeway, and Clown. Doesn't mean we don't have other projects, but those are our three big ones.
And then I really like Campfire, so we kind of
Yep.
dabble in that.
Yeah, and Toffee.
Yeah, we've got
Albino.
Toffee and Albino. We've got
Oh.
Azanthic. Well, like we've got little things that we might eventually choose to sell, but for right now,
I think we have. But the other thing is, so Evan, you have, what did you get? Like 10 females?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think we almost always go for like our minimum kind of threshold is like 1 to 3.
one male
Yep.
to three.
One male to 3 females on the other projects, but then our big ones will scale up from that. I think we have for Sunset like a lot. Like
Our poor little boys.
yeah.
On mine
Yeah,
are
my-
like, I like a lot of lanes. So there's definitely the clown lane, and that's my widest. So like right now, that's really my focus this year. But next year will be, and actually this year, my clown is breeding to my female visual Azanthic. So I'll have a lot of double hets this
Nice.
year. I'll have double het pied. That's a lie on the pied. Next year I will. This year I'll have double het, clown, Azanthic, and then clowns this year. Next year there'll be lavender in the mix. There'll be pieds in the mix. The clowns will be in the mix. Azanthic. I'm forgetting. There's a couple there, and they're all recessive focused. Is where I'm trying to get to is first get rid of any possible hets. I want to get to where I'm
Yep.
producing 100% known hets, and then build that foundation up from there. So it is a longer play, but along the way, to your point, you get the cool dominant genes that could be a het. That snake, I sold a snake today to a pet owner. She came firing out of the gate. I don't even know that she understands fully what het means, but she was like, that is the snake I want. The way that it looks is what I want. I was like,
I do think that there are a lot of times people who are new or pet owners think that, I mean, like HRA is het, red Xanthic, it is a visual thing, but I do see a lot of times, like I had someone who was like, oh, I really like, what was it, pied het clown. And I was like,
That's a pie. It
yeah,
looks like
I
a
think
beautiful
maybe
pie.
you just saw a really pretty pied and it just so happened to be a het clown. But I've seen that a couple of different times where like people will be like, oh, what are they? And they're like, oh, he's a Pastave het Xanthic. And it's like, I mean, yeah, he is het Xanthic, but you're not planning on breeding them. So why'd you pay for the?
yeah, why pay for that portion of it?
I mean, but we sold a blade het clown, and we sold it as a blade, because it was a male
Right.
and everything. And they saw him and they were like, we want him. We love his name. And they're like, yeah, his name. You got it.
Yeah, and mine was-
Yeah.
like
Mine did have the paradox on it, and that's what she liked. She really liked the paradox on the
Mhm.
banana
Oh yeah,
stuff.
that's really cool.
She was like, that's what was making her go, because I was like, if you're not breeding, I got other banana hatchlings. I'd rather be honest and upfront, and she's like,
Yep.
do they have that big spot? And I was like, nope. She's like, that's the one. I was like,
real
Okay.
That
quick,
was a cool snake.
um,
That was a beautiful
thank you.
snake.
just because I see it in the comments real quick. So Inquiline and 403, we will hopefully have het sunsets this upcoming season, as in like spring, summertime. But if you're looking to get something earlier, BT Exotics they haven't come out of the eggs yet.
We want those.
Oh. Well,
Just kidding.
Okay, but he just hatched his first sunset clutch, and it was a sunset male to a banana inchy female. He had 5 egg clutch. One of them was infertile. He just cut the other 4. Every single one of them were banana or banana inchy. So he got really, really
and
lucky.
a female banana, so you don't know. They're all female makers or females.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for it, BT Exotics on Instagram.
Yeah, but if we wanted to, if you're just looking for a regular het sunset or visual sunset, we just got our first lock between a visual and a het. So exciting.
50%. Let's get that pretty coin flip on there, right?
I'm hoping for big clutch, right? And then we've got so he's locked with 2 females, and we've got him in with this third right now. So he's locked with our sunset male is locked with a visual clown and a het sunset so far.
Nice. Yeah. So you get double recessives on
Double
or the
recessive.
double heads. Yeah.
Yeah, double head.
And
then
100% hats too, which is nice.
Yeah. No, we're excited for it. Sunset's. We always talk about
Stevens.
Sunset. I think it's such a hot project. We talked about it a little bit in our video last week, I think it was, but like prices across the board have like doubled in the last year. Have you noticed it too, David?
Honestly, Sunset is so gorgeous. Like, I get so many people that, like, I've heard from them. They're like, I don't like it. It's okay. To me, it's gorgeous. Like,
So cool.
amazing. That and like, I love Monsoon too, but like,
Yeah, you don't have.
but
I feel like you need secret password to get in on the Monsoon project right now.
Yeah.
Nobody ever sells visuals.
Yeah. It doesn't even matter if you've got the money. Like,
Yeah, no one's going to give
quick question for Adam. Are we allowed to have a cigarette on the show?
Yeah, man. If I invite you on, I get all of you.
Okay.
But yeah, like
I want to ask before I do it. So
I think that it's like across the board, the ball python market's really, really hot. It's been hot for a while, but like we really started getting in the summer/fall of 2020, and since then, like just anecdotal, like we got a pastel clown female at the time for like $350 ish. Now they're like 500, 600, 650, like that kind of range.
yeah, we wish we had gotten in on Ultramels last year.
Yeah. Same with Desert Ghost. Like, our friend Troy, awesome dude, from Balls and Strikes. We're doing a collab project with him, and one of the snakes that he sent over here to pair to the Sunset is a pastel inchy chocolate Desert Ghost female. And I think that he said when he got her at the time, like however many years ago, it was like, I want to say like $1,000 to $1,500 range. And it's like, that's insane. Like, can't even, like a regular Desert Ghost, nothing else extra. Like,
right. No, they've gone up. I got to start like a cult. I think Candy's one of the recessives I couldn't come up with earlier. I'm super bullish on Candy. I'm gonna start a little. Well, maybe that'll be a side channel. Just be called the Candy Cult.
I don't know what all you have in Candy, but we had bought a female pastel Candy. I did, and I'm an idiot. And it was on Craigslist. All of that stuff ended up being a male. But didn't find out till after we got them. And we found out because we were ultrasounding and could not find any follicles at all.
Right.
So, I am absolutely god awful at sexing animals. Courtney can. So she's like, let me check. She turns it over. They're like immediate. Like,
yeah.
So did you guys you pop or probe? Sorry, is that what you're gonna ask too?
Yeah, same thing.
We have a probe kit, and the probing at first was what I preferred, but I'd rather pop because I get so nervous, especially with the babies, with the probing.
If you push too hard, and then like their whole like, sex hood is like messed up. Like I always pop. I'm always afraid of just like no.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why when he sexed Candy, the Candy snake, he was probably too nervous to.
Actually, because I can't pop. I'm not good at it. Like so,
I think he pops like because for some reason you instinctively want to go really close to the vent when you pop, and you need to like go all the way up and actually get the hemipene in there. But yeah, so I do the sexing because there was one time he's like, one of our females is a male. Oh my gosh, I'm so disappointed. And I get home and I pop her and she's a female. And he's like, well, those are hemipenes. I was like, that's just the bulge of her
little scent glands on the side. Yeah. No, it popping throws me off, the scent glands or the hemipenes, and then you're sitting there just squeezing. But probing was like in, out.
Yeah, if you're comfortable doing it,
the thing is, physically, I guess I have to push, but I don't push. It's more just like it's like a slide, and as soon as you feel something, that's it kind of deal,
Evan, do you have a preference?
No, I'm like Steve, and I have people for that.
Yeah.
It's like the dirty
Yeah,
secret
I'm
of the
too
hobby.
new.
Right? You know, we don't. None of us know. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I've never done it, and where my snakes are at. There's people there that know what they're doing, and I'll do it eventually. But yeah, so I've never done any either or. So
There's only
when I had-
one snake. Go ahead.
when I had my Western hognoses, you can tell by the lengths of their tails. So
Oh, okay.
Didn't you say on the phone that you were like one of the first people who did, was it snow for Hognoses?
yeah, I was probably in the top 5 in the United States. I was thinking about that today. My buddy Chad.
Evan,
Are you guys getting an echo?
We're getting really bad echo from somewhere. Is it?
I don't know. It might be us.
Oh, I don't hear it, so it might be us.
Check.
Check.
Test.
I don't know.
Maybe it's me.
I don't hear it at all.
Look at
Yeah,
my
we
headphones.
don't
I'll be right
hear it.
back.
I just muted myself, so.
Yeah, I don't hear. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
carry on. I'll be right back. Let me get my headphones.
All right.
Okay.
So yeah, I still hear the echo. I'll work around it if no one else can hear it. I just don't want it to
It's
be
like
in the.
it's just like you're talking in a stadium. You're good.
Yeah. Anyway, Chad, he probably was one of the first people, and I bought hets. When I bought my hognose, I bought hets females, all from the same clutch. I bought all the females from one clutch, and then I bought males that were hets from a different clutch. And the first time, so he had produced them, and so it would be the next year. And I can't remember their names. I think it's like Third Room. He's in Vegas, I believe. And there was a guy. There was a handful of us that got snows that first year. But then I seen like the first, I believe they're called Yetis, Yeti Condas. I seen all that come out of the eggs, and those were the world's first stuff that Chad produced. And then one of the things with him is he realized that he was all in on the Western hognoses, and then he realized that he really missed dealing with all the other Klubers that he used to raise. So now his collection's pretty extensive with, I don't say it right, so I'll just go through them real quick if everyone's interested. He has bull snakes, pine snakes, and gopher snakes, and then he's got a lot of the calkings and garter snakes and corn snakes, and we got some Japanese rat snakes, we got some Russian rat snakes, so we got several rat snakes. I mean, his collection's pretty intense when it comes to that. So that's going to be one part of when we get the building put together. There'll be a colubered room, and then I always pronounce it wrong. It's the bull snakes and pine snakes are Piphiocious, I believe. I know I just butchered that, so I apologize to any purists that are out there who are listening to us. And those will go in with he has a really nice collection of rainbow boas too that will be in a room, and then the ball pythons will have their own room, and then I don't know the exact measurements of the building, but I want to say it's about 40 by 60. I want to say something along those lines, and I think that's a little on the big side, and then we'll breed our own rats too. So,
Dude, that's a huge thing. Two things, if I may say two things. For one, with 16 in the house, if you guys haven't already, I know this isn't my show, but if you haven't already, smack that like button and share this out. It'd be much appreciated. And for number two, yes, I breed my own rats, and here's why. Because for a small rat for where I live in Reno, Nevada, I'm spending from $12 to $14 per small rat. For a medium
Are you getting
size,
them
I'm
from Petco? Oh my god!
no.
Dipped in gold?
Petco does not sell rats here. They only sell mice, feeder mice. That's it. So I have to buy it from this place called Pet and Place. And for a medium, it cost me 16 to 18. For a large, 18 to 20. So I breed my own rats. I'm not going to spend that bill per week, especially for, a lot of them are like either sub-adults or adults. So I'm not going to burn my pocket. So no, I breed my own rats, man. That's one hell of a deal, is to do your own. And and the good part about it at the end of the day is, and another thing, even if rats are cheap around where you live, and you like the positive thing about breeding your own rats out is at least you know what your rats eat.
Yep.
You could really monitor, like take care of the diet, make sure you have healthy rats. Your snakes are doing healthy. Like, yeah.
Yep. And the day before you feed them out, you can gut load those things to, make sure they're eating real well.
I don't do frozen thawed though. That's one thing I should say about my channel. A lot of live feedings.
Yep.
We do.
A mix.
So we grow our own, and we were just completely self-sufficient on our own. And then we decided before we moved out into the shed to kind of like relocate where they were, and it brought a smell downstairs. And so we really cut back on how many rodents we had. And right now we are building back up to be completely self-sufficient. So I think
we also had hatchlings then, and we bought we
10
more snakes.
We downsized and then got more snake. We downsized our rats, got more snakes, and so didn't quite map that out correctly. Math that out works too.
Right. Map it.
But so now we're building back up our ASF colonies. I think we're going to get to where we have, just enough to be self-sufficient and put our own in the freezer, because we do some frozen thawed.
See, that's just it. I wish I could. I really do. I wish I could have it, but I can't. It's ASFs. They are not allowed here. It's a huge. I'm not willing to pay that fine, so that's why I have rats.
Yeah,
but I
they're
would
illegal.
love to have I mean, it's not like many people would know, but still.
Yeah, but I don't blame. So we're right on the Georgia border, and you can't. People will ask, they'll be like, "Oh, can I get some?" And it's like, we're not going to be the ones.
We can't. We're not allowed to cross state lines. Now, if somebody else buys them from us and they get them in South Carolina, and they take them wherever, that's their own thing.
We'll be like, "Oh, just don't sell them." But if you we'll give them to you as long as we give them to you in South Carolina.
Yeah, but I think ASFs are really, really awesome, and they also give you opportunities that other people may not want to deal with. For example, we got a adult clown female. I think we bought her for $800 because she was a really, really bad feeder for somebody. She would only ever take mice.
So she's a slow grower.
She went 1 year, and then it took her 2 years to just get back up to 1,500 grams because she was such a bad eater. We got her. She has pounded ASFs every single week, and she's up to like
2,200 grams. We got her at 1,500 grams. She's at 22, and that's like 3 months.
Yeah.
And that isn't power feeding either.
Yeah, that's once a week.
That's once a week.
So I got a different take on it. For me, and I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong, because actually I know Dave has very specific reasons from wanting to know what's in his rats to not buying. So, but for me, getting frozen feeders at under $3 for a medium, the time value for me that I can be doing other things and not raising rats, and then I could put towards the animals or the snakes, the shows, the music, like trying to book gigs and all of that. That's where that comes back for me. They're right in the freezer. Boom, I go. It's taken care of. So it fits me better that way because I can get my time back.
It's really funny that's how it is for you. Because for me, I like doing the live because it seems to take so much time. Because that way it's just well, I mean, I'm not throwing them, but like that way I like put them in. There's no dangling. There's no, this is too cold. There's no heating up the water. There's no accidentally overheating them. It's just you put them in and then you check on them. And if they took, at first we were all frozen thawed. It took us a little while before we got comfortable doing live, but we haven't had any issues that weren't our own fault.
We've had 2 issues that were our fault on live.
There was one where I'm pretty sure, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I know I checked that tub. So I'm pretty sure he was laying on top of that little mouse. And we didn't see it for like a day.
And he's fine.
He's fine, yeah, but it just chewed on his tail a little. There's no blood, nothing like that. But like, it did damage the scales, and you can see where it damaged the scales. And I think the rodent was in there for 2 days before. It must have been in his hide. I have no idea where that thing was hiding.
So
You know-
what I think it was in that specific instance,
also
we have
on
an
top.
Aris 7030. Courtney's pretty short,
Hey.
and it's top. He's literally on the very top. So she has to climb up on a step ladder and look in. And if the rodent was like at the very front of the like the tub, you wouldn't be able to see. She couldn't see down into it. Like she would look into the back and like.
And then when I'm checking for like cleaning out, I kind of go off of smell, especially on those top ones. So I just didn't see that thing in there with them, and I still feel bad about it. But
I think it's all part of the routine too. So like my setup works for me. I worked really hard to iron out how quick I can get them to go and get them heated and routine. But it's also with my snakes, they know the routine now too. Like Sunday nights when they see me come in after dark, they're ready. Like they know there is. So it's not an overnight thing. And I do agree. It probably would be a little bit quicker and easier, but I got the other problem. I don't have a separate outdoor building.
frozen thawed works.
Yeah. And
you
raising
always have it is what's really nice.
It's not going to pass the wife test. So it's a moot point for me. I'm just buying them.
The frozen thawed, you can. So I like that most of ours will take frozen thawed because now that we're low on live, we have the frozen thawed
As a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we have some that won't take it at all, so we still have to have this. So Evan, you said you've got people for sexing. Do they take care of feedings and everything for you? Or
At this time, no. I spend time over at where they're at every week. Like I was supposed to actually be there tonight, and he sent me a text being goofy this morning and told me that tomorrow. So I sent it last night.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, it didn't happen. So tomorrow, I spend a couple hours over there every week helping him with his bluebirds and stuff because I enjoy working with all the animals. And so all my snakes are at his house right now.
Okay. You had mentioned. Sorry. Go ahead.
Which kind of stinks because like I'm low on pictures for my Instagram page. So now it's kind of like when I go over there, I got to make sure. Well, they're all in shed right now too, so I'm not going to have pictures for. Where I can just go, I see your guys' pictures, Adam, yours too. And
that's
so, yeah. And you see your pictures outside and it's like every day. And it's like, man, I wished I could do that, but it'll happen. My goal is to be retired in 3 to 5 years. And so I'll have a lot of time to be with my animals. So
that's awesome.
I went the opposite route. I think Proper Royals knows this. It was on the Peony show. Just one night, I was like, I'm done. I'm only 32. So, I mean, it happened at the beginning of this year. So I was like, I'm done. I quit straight up. I was done. I spent like 3.5 years there. I was done at being, doing what I was doing. And honestly, I still haven't made $1. Like, what I'm saying, off my snakes or anything. Like, I don't breed extra rats to make money off them either. But like, dude, I take this as a full-time job. Like, and I love handling each of my snakes. Like, I don't want to sell something once I hatch them out to somebody that's going to be like, oh, this thing bit me and now I'm afraid of snakes because it's their first snake ever. Like, I want everything that I'm able to produce, like, to be hand friendly, not going to be like every time you open up, if you're using, like, for me, I don't have a Freedom Breeder record FRS. I have sea serpents. So like, I don't want them to open it up, even if they have it in a glass cage because they only have one, like, and they're like, oh, it's feisty. Like, I get it. Sometimes they could be a little feisty. I get it. But like,
yep.
I had an experience today with that lady that bought the snake from me. I ended up, and I shared it. It's on my channel. It's the short that I posted today, but
I saw it.
Yeah. She was asking about the temperament and I was like, I'll send you a video. And then it was too big to text to her. I was like, how am I going to get this video to her? I was like, I'll just put it up and she can watch it, but it was the same question. And well, you saw the video, I was like, I showed my hand all around all the different directions and it's one of the real inquisitive ones. And then, there are the other ones that take a whole lot longer for them to get used to things.
But the bite itself is not bad. Now, I'm not saying like my 3,800 gram female, when she puts on some more weight and she's, she ever does tag me, I'm not going to say that one won't hurt if she bites and wraps or whatever. But when they're young, I've had bee stings worse.
You have a
yeah.
female pushing 4 grand, 4,000 grams.
She's a big girl.
Show us this. I want to see this 4,000 gram female.
No. She's 38.
Okay, all right.
That sounds like 4,000 to me.
Oh yeah.
She might. I don't know, but she's very lengthy. She's like huge. Her name's Minerva. She a big girl. Like she takes down large rats.
So who's she gonna pair with? I mean, that girl's gonna give you 10 eggs, man.
Oh fuck! I'm hoping somebody. I don't know yet. With the
Well, when the time comes, she's gonna be a good producer, man. How long have you had her for?
5 months.
Okay. Do you know her breeding history or not?
Yeah, she's a proven breeder. 100% clown. She's cool. I mean,
You got to find a stud for her. Just start pairing once a month until something happens, man.
Honestly, so we were talking about behind stage the banana Enchi apparently that I bought, right? And I questioned it, got back to
I did too. I was like, that's the cleanest banana I ever seen. It's incredible.
Right. I was like, no way, dude. So I got back to the owner, and like I said, to find out it's actually the caramel albino. So I am stoked to even have that. Like I was like, okay, well, go recessive. Like
yeah, that ain't so bad either.
Mm-hmm.
So Dave, I don't expect you to share the trade secrets. How do I get Miguel and Brian Cusco to get on this show? Dude, you're slaying it with your guests on your show, man.
So to be honest, on December 19th on my show, I'll have 2 celebrities, I guess you should say. Both of them are. One's Brian Cusco again for round 2, and then another one would be his first time. He's been on my show, but not as a guest. It's Chris Hardwick.
I was going to say, I thought you had a thing with Chris cooking too.
So that'll happen. But honestly, I've reached out to everybody. I'm like, hey, this is my passion. This is what I do. Would you like to do a live stream with me? And, I'll explain details and all that. And honestly, just heading them up doesn't take much. They'll answer you eventually. And when they get back to you, I'm going to have, fuck, dude, this sounds really horrible. Garrett on here soon. Garrett would be cool.
Garrett, he's a Wisconsin guy, isn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he's killer.
Matter of fact, him and Chad are good buddies.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Chad's pretty much my mentor. By far, he is. I tell him that all the time, that he's been in this game so long, and the stuff that he tells, that I learn every single time I'm at that facility with him, it's crazy. It's just a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, Garrick is phenomenal. I learn a lot from watching his videos, and it's great because he just tells you straight up. He's like, I don't have time to edit, man. Let's just get down to business and take it as it is. And it's like,
and his videos turn out so nice.
I know, but there's a lot of value in that. It's really nice just to be like,
it's raw.
Yeah. He does killer stuff. You said he's coming on too?
We're planning something in the beginning of December, but the last 2 times it's just been pushed back, and he's still in the middle of moving to another facility. So or something like that. Whatever it is, it'll eventually happen. I'm not gonna push him and be like, hurry the fuck up. You're a legend to me. So take your time. You'll come back.
That's true. That's true.
We were talking.
The amount of animals. The amount of animals that guy produced this year is just insane. I think he had something like 400 clutches or something
2,800 eggs. He said he had 2,800 eggs he produced this year when we were talking to him.
That is just nuts.
He'll be like, yeah, we're almost done with the season. We only have 60 eggs in our
he's
incubator.
like, we only have 60 eggs
or 60 clutches in the incubator. And it's like, what?
That's almost done. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll get it to. I've just been busy. I've got, I've hatched out 400, and it's like, yeah, you've been busy. And I get it.
Sorry, I broke out my
Crew.
calculator. Oh yeah, yeah. How many employees does he have? You think?
I think just one. Him and another guy, and I think there's other people that stop in and help. But I really think it's real small like that. I think he must work 15, 16-hour days. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's grossing right near $1 million on that.
So what's your
A
guys'
year.
Easily.
Well, if it's 300 a snake, it gets you to 850, 840.
Oh, well,
I bet
mean,
he averages higher than that.
Probably, but there's always the hets, you
No,
know.
I think it's probably just chow.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steven.
And the amount that he keeps.
Right. Oh yeah, that's true.
It was all over your teeth.
So the question I had for you guys was, what are your guys' goals with it? Are you guys trying to get to like Gareth DeMeyer level, getting 2,800 eggs in a year?
I don't think even he wanted to be.
No.
Kai and I talked a lot about that when he was on the show. Not specifics on like where to want to get to, but for me, I've thought a lot about it, and at the moment, my first goal is to get to basically, and it sounds pretty modest, but basically 18 breeding females and 6 males. So we got the 3-to-1 there, because, and this is something I focus on a lot on the show too. Everybody's needs and goals are different. That would be manageable for a one-man operation. It would provide enough of a revenue stream where if I could match that revenue stream with my music, then all I got to do is work somewhere for benefits. That's all. That's it. Then I'm one step closer kind of thing. So for my own needs, really trying to, as quickly as I can, level up to as many visual recessives and double recessives as I can. And I mean, like to the point where I'm contemplating, Evan, you were talking about buying just banger males. Before next year, to be honest, I'd like to own like a clown pied visual that I can just blast through my visual recessive projects. So for me, it's, and I know good and well, I'm not going to stop at 24. Hell, I got 33 in the room right now. I'm not going to stop at 24, but there's got to be a point where, same with the rats, the return per moment of time that I'm spending on this, I need it to be pretty valuable, or I want it to be. That's my goal on that. So modest for me. I don't want to outgrow that room, actually.
Yeah, and I think that's totally doable. For me, I just I want something that when I go into retirement, within 3 to 5 years, I want my retirement money supplemented to the point where I can still do vacation time, me and the wife can go to wherever we want to do. I can drive a nice vehicle. But I started this with, it's solely a business for me at this point. I mean, I don't know who said it, but I've heard it more than once. If you treat it like a business, it'll be a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll be a hobby. So I believe that was Mutation Creation, Billy said that, and I kind of take that to heart. I really do believe that if I went at this, I'm going to have a fairly good investment. I need that investment to come back to me, and then it's all forward from there for me. I don't know where it'll end, but I do know one thing, that if you do it right, there should be a good profit that comes along with it. But I also need to say that I enjoy, cleaning poop, and I enjoy, cleaning poop water, and I enjoy all the other aspects of this too. Like, it's not, so it is, but I am absolutely business minded when it comes to it. Like, all my moves are going to be to make sure that I can maximize return out of my investment. Because I absolutely look at it as an investment.
Yeah. Same.
David, what's your goals?
My goal is to hit a world's first once again. As for like I plan on getting other reptiles down the road. Like, I'm gonna eventually get an Asian water monitor. I would love one.
Nice.
I would like a retech. I would like a berm. I'm not after. I'm trying to get monetized. That's all I'm after on YouTube. Other than that, like selling snakes, like I'm not going to probably do a morph market. I said this the other night on one of my live streams. Until after maybe 5-6 years down into actual like getting constant clutches, everything's going well, then I'll probably make a morph market. But until then, like I plan on selling locally and killing it locally and go from there. Hopefully get some more people inspired into reptiles. And I mean, that's honestly what I want to do, is just spread the positivity about reptiles instead of like, oh, but they eat rats, they eat mice, like blah, blah, blah. It's live feeding, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a lot more to your reptile than just feeding it and having it. Like there's a reason why, no offense to the rest of my snakes, even that, you know, but Odin is only one, and he's just a plain cinnamon male. He's fully grown. He's in the bedroom though, and he stays in there with us because of the shit he's been through. Because I bought him all fucked up, or sorry for the language, but all messed up, and he had a respiratory infection. It was really bad, kinking up, twisting up, and he eventually made it through. And they were feeding him maybe 1 mouse every 2 months. I bought him when he was 4 years old, so he was pretty bad. But he's been killing it. What's up, Michaela, Lucas, everybody? And no, it like honestly, me and my wife favored Odin, and my ultimate goal though is to spread. Besides hit a world's first, is to spread positivity about having reptiles. Like there's a lot more than people just seeing. I feel like a lot of people just don't understand. Like I've heard this so many times too, and I'm pretty sure you have too, that somebody's never had a reptile. Are you sure your snake's not slimy? No, I'm pretty my snake's not slimy.
Stephen and Courtney, where's the future path take you?
Well, I would love to do it full time. We have, so how you said, we've vended on Morph Market, and we had some success. We were very successful posting specific clutches on Morph Market, but then we took everything down because we had a show coming up, and we sold out at the show, and it went, you know, it was such a positive experience. Seeing people who kind of like you said, they did not go there that day to buy a snake. Some of them did not go there that day having ever touched a snake. And there were at least 2 families, one of which thought that the the reptile expo was going to be like a show for kids. They thought it'd be like for the kids to see and learn about the animals. And he was like, I didn't realize this was like a Saturday market for animals. They left with a pet snake, and we had one other who, like, mom was afraid to even touch it, and by then they walked out with one of our bananas. So it was really cool to see people who were not sure about them beforehand, like getting to know them, finding out about them, and wanting to, you know, have one of their own. We sold to a lot of first-time owners, and a lot of them have kept in touch with us to ask questions and things like that. So we'd like to continue to do that. I'd like to do it full time.
We have noticed, just anecdotally, that, and this isn't good or bad, it's not a value statement thing, pet owners have a lot more, like, require a lot more time spent in customer service than other breeders do.
Yeah. But it's also interesting because we track all of we track everything. So looking at sales, it's really interesting to see. We've actually had the most money spent, I believe, by potential breeders, and the most animals spent or sold to pet owners. So we've sold
pure number.
Yeah, pure number. We've sold the most animals to pet owners, but they have spent the least amount of money for them. And then potential breeders have bought the like banana clowns and the banana het clowns, the female makers, and then breeders will be like, oh, that would go good with what I've got, and so they tend to buy
very specific,
but they have not been very high spenders. It's more like, oh, I could use a het albino, and they buy the het albino kind of deal. So it's really interesting to see that.
I'm glad you said het, because you know, I'm not saying anyone maybe in this on the panel right now, but maybe some people watching that or don't watch. A lot of people knock hets. like they're like, oh, but it's like I see it, and like to me, I have a bunch of hats in my collection because honestly, there's nothing wrong with a hat. If you can make a visual out of that hat,
That's right.
and add the other genes, like let's go. Like, what are you waiting on? Like, hats aren't just like nothing to sit on. Like,
Well, if you want to advance, you have to make hets anyway. You can't put.
You have to.
You have to. That's the scientific part of it. You have to.
Yep.
We don't have so many male hats. We have gene heavy male hats, or we have female hats. It's kind of how we are, and then that's kind of how we price our males. The thing is, you know, everyone wants female hats. It's hard to sell the males. So
no one wants males. Yeah, it's always
if it's a normal hat, it's not gonna sell for that hat price like a female would.
Mm-hmm. I do,
unless it's a sunset.
I mean, even then, like,
even then, a male wouldn't. Yeah.
If you guys watch Morph Market at all and all that, like watch the price. I know Evan does and everything, but like sunsets right now, the two visual males are incredibly high demand, and het females are incredibly high demand. The visual females, there are not very many of them, but they're not nearly as like off the shelves as the males. And like a male 100% het sunset, nothing else in it, I bet you can get it all day long for $300. Like, the male hets are not super expensive.
So, I mean, $300 is not.
Yeah, but then you got to breed it to a female.
Yeah.
And play out that process. You know, fuck.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, like that's when it comes to newer hets. Like, yeah, that's my struggle. But when it comes to like, you know, pied, het pied, like who doesn't have a pied in their collection? I got two visuals in mind, like
right.
So
that time fact. Go ahead, Evan.
Go ahead. To add recessives though into the you got to have the hets to put the recessives. I mean the codoms into recessive. So that's the only way I see that you can get, you know, a lot of codoms into your recessive projects is through hets. So like for me, I look at it in 3 to 4 years, my collection of my animals, there'll be a lot of het stuff in there. Cause I think the het game is well worth playing all day long, especially if I'm producing these hets, then I know for sure what I got. And then I can add genes into those so much easier and faster and get them visuals, you know, those visuals that but I go back to when my first pairing of snakes was het to a het, and I ended up in 2 clutches, I ended up with 2 visual snows, like 3. I have a Facebook account. All this stuff is on my Facebook account, but I don't ever go on Facebook to me. So, but I still have it there. So you can go to my Facebook account and see some of this stuff. I had some anathuristic stuff pop up, all out of het to het. So I didn't buy any visual to do that. It was all out of hets. So there's no reason in ball pythons you can't do the same thing. And another guy who really preaches that I watch his videos all the time is Hardwire Tony from Hardwire Exotics, I think it is. He has videos of why are people so afraid of hets, you know? So you know, if you do it right, you can really maximize, and the price of a het's way less than buying visuals too. That's the other nice thing about it. So it's definitely a way to go.
It's time and trust though is the problem.
Yep. Exactly.
If you don't have the relationship, building that trust is so hard because you don't want to get ripped off. And then again, I come back to time. Like we get 1 clutch a year, most years, some years. And the time factor is I'm starting to think is just worth biting the bullet on, kind of jumping ahead on a few things. And then I also thought about too, and Stephen, I think you do this already, but building plans and projects with multiple, almost mirror image breeders, so that in my mind, I'm thinking I can always keep one going on visuals and I can always keep one going on hets, that then I can increase your ingredient or artist palette or whatever analogy you want to use, the the pizza topping station that you want to throw in after that. But that's where I'm at on my clowns right now. So I have the male visual going through 3 het breeders this year.
When I think of like my preferred approach on like visual to visual, visual to het to het kind of thing, I feel 9 times out of 10 we want to do visual to het. Like how you had said that Tony at Hardweather Exotics talks about like the benefits of going het to het. I think that het to het is best used to do stuff that like you're trying to do, David, where you are trying to cut off the time to hit the world first before anybody else does. So it's not so much that you're trying to like slow and steady get there. You're willing to gamble that you might not hit any visuals because you only have a 25% chance per egg. But if you do hit your visual, you have a way bigger chance that there's going to be extra codoms in or incomplete dominance in, because you have so much more powerful stuff head to head. I think when we like are really, really going in like our, like for example, Sunset, this year we're just doing visual to make our hets and we're doing visual to try to make other visuals. But at some point we're going to have really nice female het that's grown up, really nice male het, and we want to be able to hold back enough females that are really nice so that way we can always try to take that little shortcut and do maybe one clutch that's head to head, and then the other ones are visual to head. So that way we have the little bit of jump forward, but we're not necessarily trying to risk an entire season on
66%.
Yeah.
Well, and even the het to hets, I had 7 eggs het to het. 0, none. Just
well, it's always a gamble though. You're not
I know
to hit something like,
yeah.
I mean,
my whole business plan this year is based on 2 clutches, but I had paced myself out to where I would be profitable this year. Not much, just in the black, just even if it was 1 penny, just to get black. And that all I needed was one. I needed 1 visual out of there, and I would have had it covered, kind of thing. And it's not, Crimea River. It's no big deal. But it's a harsh reminder that you get 1 shot per year, and there is the gamble, man. For every we crush the odds here. Yeah, there's me over here going.
Like for me, even if I make world first, I can't say I personally did it. The reason why is because you never know what those eggs are going to come out as.
Oh,
like,
that's
you can't be like, guaranteed I'm going to hit the world first. Like,
nope, that's true. That's true.
You might not hit every odd that you thought you were going to hit.
Yeah. I guess really early on, there's some people right now that know the first. What's a double het that hasn't been made with Sunset? Sunset to Candy or something. That would be then it would be a guarantee. But yeah, once those are out of you're right, because then you don't know what DOMs. You can always hit a normal.
So there's some things, like people will say like, it's a world's first, but like we know we have someone who wants to make a Sunset Azanthic. To me, that's going to be a brown snake. Like this is going to be a brown animal. It's going to strip all the red and orange out of the sunset, and that's what makes the sunset beautiful. So like that might be a world's first, but
it looks really cool, but that's a lot. That's a huge risk and time investment to do a double recessive project because you're looking at like 5 years minimum.
Yeah,
I'm not opposed to him going for that, but like to me, if I'm going to be worried about world's firsts, I want it to be something that'll be really stunning.
I like the idea of world's firsts. I think that it's super cool, and it's definitely something that we do want to hit. I personally like where somebody's already kind of done the groundwork, where it's like the Sunset Ultramill stuff. It's like looks freaking beautiful. It's like, all right, I'll make a Sunset, or I want to make a world's first there because it's going to be beautiful. I
want to add on to what somebody else already found out.
Yeah, and I think we see that our angle is different than Dave's though, because I don't want to put words in your mouth. For me, I'm working on making this a sustainable business as I go. So just chasing the passion project, that Evan, to your point, that's I'm not saying Dave's treating it like a hobby. That would be me treating it like a hobby rather than a business. So I've trying now again, I smashed my crystal ball this year when my 7 eggs did nothing. So that, good luck at them. But so I got to focus on what I think the market will sustain as I chase the passion projects, so to speak.
I mean, I no disrespect, dude. I understand what you're saying. Like, I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every clutch I do will be a world's first. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying that's your goal. I love it. Yeah.
But that is the
totally
ultimate.
good.
And the thing is one of the ones I have has cinnamon in it. So even if I made it, I would still have to breed that one out, like I talked with Brian Cusco, to prove out that all the genes were in it with the normal. And then I could say, hey, that was the world's first. But yeah.
Wait, because you're saying that cinnamon would cover up one of the other genes?
It's pretty dominant. Like
it's hard to see. I agree. I've got one that's a orange dream yellow belly, I think, and it's a thin margin to see. But I'm breeding that one this year.
Especially if you have pied into it, like cinnamon can take over a lot of other genes that you don't see in it.
Well, yeah, and pied, absolutely. What were you going to say, Steven?
I was like, I think that head-to-head is super, super like fun and cool because you have like the lottery going on because you can hit really big or you can hit really, really like bad. But I think that when we hit it, once we're really going, like trying to do like a clutch per project, that's like head-to-head. And I say head-to-head because we like Freeway is one of our big projects, and that we are head-to-head would be like an asphalt in a yellow belly, not like a Freeway or an Ivory or super asphalt. Like, so that's why I was doing the air quotes on it for it. I think head-to-head's super cool. I think that there's benefits of it. Oh, one actual cool thing with head-to-head, our leopard sunset girl that we got from Brad Boa. Amazing guys. I know we've talked about them before. They're really, really cool. We really, really like them. So we got a leopard sunset from them. The pairing was I think it was a leopard Mojave yellow belly het sunset male to an inchy het sunset female. And they hit 3 visuals out of it. They kept one. They sold... Yeah, from head to head. I don't remember how many eggs were in the clutch, but they hit 3 visuals on it. They kept one. They sold one to Justin Kobolka, and then we got the leopard sunset female from it.
She's the world's first.
As far as Brad's aware, she is the first just leopard sunset created. But so we did that, and when we got it, we just talked to them. Really, really good people. We picked it up at Daytona. He threw in the 66% het females because he knew that we were early on in the Sunset project just as an extra thing. So I think that that's one good, cool thing that you can kind of do with like 66% hets is you can make a huge impact on potential customers because it's like, hey, you bought this really, really expensive snake. Here's this animal that is way more valuable to you to raise up and take the risk that it might not prove out than it is for me.
That's right. And that actually on a much smaller scale, not with the sunset scope, and I won't call it any names, but they're actually in the room tonight. There was somebody that had exactly that. It was me going, I missed, but who out there wants them that I can make a deal with? And then them going, wait a minute, do I understand this right? It's 66% this and 50% that. And I go, yeah. And I said, we'll take all of them. There we go. So I hope it's a win-win for everybody. And like I say, they could speak up if they want to. Hey, Jeremy just popped up as well. What's going on, Jeremy? It's good to see you tonight. Everybody check out Bod's Exotic Reptiles if you get a chance as well.
So not to promote my channel on your channel proper.
Promote it. Absolutely.
I do have a question though, because Steven keeps talking and gets me curious. Would you two mind being a guest on my show one of these days?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're all down for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that sounds awesome. I know we're doing one December 2nd, I think it is, with on Brian's at Samson Snakeatorium again. We're gonna be on I don't remember. Ballin' with Brian, I think it is.
Is that
But
he does a morning one, right? He does like a morning coffee kind of deal, doesn't
I
he?
think
Oh,
he does
yeah,
three. I think
he does the morning coffee one. He does the
Keeper's
reptile
Corner.
corner. Yeah, Keeper's Corner. And then he does another one. And we were on Keeper's Corner a couple weeks ago. And so now he invited
But yeah,
us
we're
back.
more than down. Yeah. No, that sounds awesome, David.
Sweet,
Hey, and
sweet. Cannot wait.
If anybody's in Florida, and Jeremy, you could correct me. I think Jeremy's bending at the Tampa show this weekend, and I know George Emney is going to be down there at that show as well.
See, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I go on IG, because everyone's like, I'm going to this show, I'm going to that show. Reno has not had a show since like 2004. I have like 4 hours to Sacramento to go to the next show next to me. So half the time I miss them.
I know, so.
Are any of you guys going to Tinley in March? I know it's ways away, but
I'll be there for sure.
okay.
I
know
might
that-
be there. I won't say who. I do this just like Dave was talking about just asking people. I throw it out there to different breeders and vendors at shows, and I offer to just come work for free. I don't want to get paid. I just want to experience it.
Well,
And,
you're in luck. I'm about to have a baby. So
well, there you go.
here's an extra set of hands.
Look at this baller strolling in right here.
Yeah. You know what?
What's up, Chris? Got Chris Hardwick
What's
just
up, Hardwick?
popped in
Hey,
tonight.
Chris.
So, but no, I offer them, and actually somebody that I really I have a huge amount of respect for said, I got a long drive to Chicago, and it's really hard to find somebody that'll take the time off to go. And I'm like Tinley, Chicago? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, you say the word, I'm jumping in the van, man. We're on our way. So we'll see. I might, and I might go up just for kicks. If you guys are going up and want a caravan or something.
One of us.
Yeah, I'm going up with a couple other local breeders and all that stuff. Courtney was going to go, but because
When we thought about it, the baby will be literally a month old. So
Yeah.
it's time to travel 16 hours.
So John has an
And I can tell you
interesting
too,
question.
pushing a stroller through Tinley, you know, for having a baby, that's tough. That show's absolutely nuts.
no, like we haven't been. We went to Daytona. That's our only like big show we've gone to, and it was awesome. That's where we met Adam actually in person.
Yeah.
Daytona was awesome.
Okay.
It was super cool, and it's like the local reptile scene in like South Carolina, the Southeast, is really, really good. Like I really like the Show Me Snake shows. I don't know if they're around where you guys are at, but you got something, David?
Oh, no. Go ahead. I was going to actually reply to the comment that's on the screen.
Oh, no, get it. You got it.
I was going to say, depending on how many states you got to go across, as for me, I drove from Reno to San Diego, and it was like a 14-hour drive. And I drove them. And I got a speeding ticket that day. Yeah. It was great.
I don't have any experience on it. I don't know how you would get an animal on it. I mean, all jokes about a snake on a plane aside, I don't know how you would get an animal on a plane or what that process looks like. I guess I'd be driving or mail them overnight, ship them overnight to myself the next day kind of thing.
Yeah, but that beats the whole purpose of getting them.
Oh yeah, shipping them. Yeah, it's like so nice to be able. I guess you can still see them and you can still like look at them all. But yeah.
I mean, $50 of shipping is cheaper than a
Yeah.
tank of gas. So.
But
No, it is.
I for what were we saying right before that?
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Whatever. I apologize. We'll rewatch this and we'll be like, hey, Adam,
That's where that was. Yeah, I can't rewind it live though.
That was my fault.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I think. Oh yeah, Daytona. Daytona was our first big show. The other local shows around here, they're like really good, and the Show Me Snake show in particular, we really, really like. We are in, like I said, the Southeast. It's like right on the border between South Carolina and Georgia. So there's a lot of like pretty solid big breeders in the Southeast that are like nearby. Like every single Show Me Snake show in the area, Bob's Balls is there. Steve's Morphs is there. RL
Yeah.
Exotics have come down. We've actually never seen him at a show, but like Justin Kobulka lives like, I don't know, 3 hours away from us or something. So, but yeah.
Sitting in a show by his house one day.
We should figure out how to vend Daytona next year.
This
2023.
yeah, as in 2022 or 2023.
20. Well, I guess depending where my clutches land,
Yeah,
maybe
that's exactly.
2023.
So we had someone who was like, "Come on, let's do Daytona." I'm like, "We're gonna be hatching in August. We're not gonna have anything for
Right.
Daytona." Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it depends when mine go. I've got a lot of first-time breeders. I could double up with somebody else and probably just have the experience.
It was awesome. We really liked doing our first show.
Oh, we loved it.
It was super fun.
We've both been office jobs for quite a while. I haven't served in like I haven't been serving like 3 or 4 years. So being on your feet all day is a healthy reminder that you've gotten lazy.
I've been finding that myself. I went from working however many restaurant hours for the past 25 years to working a desk job for the past 6 months, and like I feel it. I gotta do something about that. I'm with you there.
Honestly, Bod had said in the chat that's $300 a table for Daytona. That's actually not anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I don't know what.
3 times the show, I think so.
Yeah. But so I'm thinking about like part of it is like target market that goes to these shows. If you are going to like a local Show Me Snakes, a local Repticon, you're probably getting a lot of like pet owners that are looking for the $500 and less range. Not saying that there's not other people who'd get more stuff, but that's like bread and butter of those shows. Daytona is completely different. In case anybody hasn't been there, like it is like Brock Wagner had a whole freaking table filled with sunsets, and Sunday it was like a ghost town. And these aren't like he had hats there, but these are like people paying 10 grand for a snake in cash.
Not to like talk about how much people paid. That's not our business, but they went and got cash. Like, how do you go get cash on a Sunday?
You stroll in with a stack of high society. Yeah.
Cash on Sunday. That was.
But yeah,
I
so
watched it happen.
So the thought that a table at Daytona is $300, and the market that's going there are people who are bringing 10 grand in cash to buy a snake. It's a pretty good payoff. Like,
Yeah.
If you got the stuff that those people want, like me and my pastels probably ain't gonna hang out there though, you know.
That's why we say 2023.
Yeah, but
this year we might have
I think
some
you
visual sunsets, but that's it.
I'm hoping to hit Daytona this next year, but I think Daytona supports just about everything from what I understand.
it was a good show.
You're gonna get you're gonna get the pet guys there, and you're gonna get those big dealers. The thing with Daytona is you get a lot of people from overseas coming around too.
Yeah,
That's my understanding with Daytona. The gecko people do just killing. They kill it down there.
Yeah, it was a fun spectacle to watch, man. I just sat back and took a lot of it in. I really wasn't I had just moved. I wasn't at a point at the time where I was in a position to financially or space wise. I hadn't finished my room either, I don't think. Although I did pick up something that day. But I didn't spend much. But yeah, it'd be fun to go to town in there for sure.
Do you see what Bod puts in the chat just now?
Yeah. I raised $27,000 for U.S. ARC at Daytona. Damn.
Was that through Jeremy? Was that through donated animals that they auctioned for that value? Now we got to sit silently for the time delay. It'll come around.
What was it?
I heard people were spending crazy money at that auction.
It was
stuff,
insane. It made us feel a little bad.
Yeah, it got to because Steven's like, "Oh boy, let's go, let's buy something." And then after like the second or third time, it got up to $11,000 for a bid. We were like, "Never mind."
I'm like, I want to go and spend like a couple $100 on a bag of Jello shots and give them out. That was not a couple $100.
No.
Like that was not.
And the thing is people would, because what they were doing is they were just donating, right? So like they would.
Yep.
Oh, he made the money box. Hang on, your volume just dropped out, guys.
The volume dropped, yeah.
Steve and Courtney, you guys just crushed your microphone or something. The volume when you were like, oh, the volume just dropped. It's gone. We can't hear you.
All right, hold on.
Now it's still down.
Can you hear me?
No.
No.
We'll jump back
It's
in.
gotten fainter.
Oh, we ran him off.
He's going to jump
No,
up
they'll
and
be
come back
they
on.
said. Yeah, that's what he
He'll pop
said.
back in just a second.
If you
So
guys
what are-
haven't already, with 20 people in the house really quick, sorry, Adam, not to interrupt you on your own show, but if you haven't already, please smack that like button and share this to every platform you can. Show Adam some love with proper royals. I'd appreciate it. He would appreciate it. Evan would appreciate it.
Thank you. And to give these guys some props. So Evan is active on Instagram, not as active on Facebook, but he's got his information up there. Dave at we're shorthand BPL, but it's Ball Python Love is the name that you're looking for on Instagram. That's a dot in between each word. On YouTube is Ball Python Love is his channel. And as crazy, I can't believe every time I say it, I can't believe it. He goes live most nights with killer guests, including Chris. I think they've got something worked out. Chris Hardwork, that I don't know if he's still here or not, but was in the room. And so check out their channels. Courtney and Steven are incredibly active on Instagram and YouTube. And since they're not here at the second, I'm going to talk about them. From a marketing standpoint, they are a gold mine. They are incredibly insightful. Check out their business acumen is pretty stinking high. I'm going to add them back now that I've spoken to them.
Really intelligent. Knows what they're talking about. Definitely go check out Leviathan's.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Leviathan Pythons or Leviathan snakes?
Yeah, it's a pun.
Snakes.
It's a pun on Courtney's favorite book.
My favorite, one of my favorite series is Leviathan Wakes, and it was just
Wakes and stuff. Okay.
Oopsie, stole it.
Yeah,
So,
copyright infringement.
Yeah, maybe keep it on the DL.
While we're throwing out some names, I got to say thanks to I'm really actually like it kind of hit me between return people that are commenting. So I haven't even seen the people that haven't commented. Those of y'all that don't know, the screens that we have, I see the comments, but I don't see, and I see the number of people, but I don't have like a list of who's here. So if I ever don't shout out to you, it's because I missed you in the comments or didn't, that's why I always say that I ask everybody to say hello. But there's a bunch of people that have bought from me. There's a bunch of people that keep coming back, and then a ton of people that I just respect like crazy. And so please check out Phil's channel. He's got some amazing stuff on Instagram on Finger Lakes BP or Finger Snakes. Finger Lakes or Finger Snakes. I'm sorry, Phil. I should know better. He's got some amazing stuff going on. Laughing Boy at Cosmic Serpents, I believe, is the name. Of course, Kai, he's a legend of himself. Lucas Landon Royals, doubling up on recessive projects this year, like doing it, really good stuff. Jeremy Bott has been killer to me. And I know that there's just a bunch more people already in here. And like I say, to have Chris pop in, that's craziness. Okay, fine. In an awesome way. Like, that's incredibly cool. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for the support. I don't take you all for granted for a second. So guys, we got about 5 minutes to go. As I say, usually earlier than this, but I got to give my wife a kiss goodnight, and it is well past her bedtime. So I got a few more minutes to hang out. We do this every Tuesday night. There's 20 of y'all watching. Come back again. Support these folks in the various ways that you can. And I'll just say thanks, and I appreciate it. What topic are we going to take this home on? Steven, if I know you probably put together one more quick topic for us.
All right. So
see,
well, I don't actually have it prepped, and I feel like that it's one that we normally do. Let's say that we got somebody that's in the chat or somebody that's watching this on the replay, and they are just now really getting into that, diving into research of ball python space because they find out that they want to do it. What one piece of advice would you guys give them? Only one, nothing else extra. What one piece of advice, somebody who's just now wanting to get into breeding?
I got it. For me, it is be patient. Myself
stole it.
Yeah, I'm not a patient guy. I've lived my world in restaurants, ticket times. Where's this? Got to go. Table turn. Boom, boom. I have made a living on not being patient, and ball pythons not only demand. That doesn't matter. They can demand. You can expect it. Whatever. You will not do anything without patience with ball pythons, and that's including great and bad results that come out and bust things up or create amazing results, but you got to be patient. That's my 2 cents.
Mine would be probably, honestly, I don't know if this, and you, John, Stephen, Courtney, tell me if I'm wrong. Know what you want. Know what you want.
How many
If
projects
you're-
start?
So many projects.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's actually really similar to mine, which is find out what those genes do before you purchase and pair them. Like we had someone who I think made they did like spot nose to spider because they didn't realize it was in the spider, like they just didn't know. If you need to know that cinnamon and chi are allelic, you need to know that yellow belly, super yellow belly is an ivory and you're going to get an all white snake. You need to know what's in any bell. Yeah, don't eat snake poop. Don't do that. That's gross.
There's a couple
Yeah,
of them that
There's
went
only
across
one.
there that
There's
were
only
good.
one tip you gave.
Oh, sorry. Actually, you can eat as much snake poop as you want as long as you.
Just don't tell anybody.
Yeah, know what you might get before you make that pair. Like research what you could end up with. Make sure your combo that you're hoping for an all gene animal isn't an allelic pairing. So yeah.
Evan, what you got?
You guys all stole mine. I was going to say patience, be patient, but I think mine would be patient in research. I took a long time, probably 4 or 5 months worth of just research before I spent any money. Although I knew, the route that I wanted to go, I knew I was going to drop a lot of money at the beginning, but just research. And I think someone else put it out there, came across the screen. I don't have the chat open because I'm on my phone and I would be doing this all day trying to keep up with everything. Do your research and and if you like something that is expensive, save your money to get it. I think that's, be willing just to put forth the effort to get there. Be patient. Because it'll all come. That's probably it.
Be patient.
Mine is like just from myself. But I think that people a lot of times talk about how breeding snakes is a lot of hard work and that they don't necessarily, people assume that that's like pairing the animals, making sure incubation's right, picking up after snakes, feeding them, all that stuff. And that is work. I personally think that it is harder work to successfully market your business beforehand. And I think that when they say put in the hard work, it's that's on top of it. It's not just, you can't only think about snakes. If you do, and you want to do it as a business, you will end up having snakes that you have a hard time selling.
Yep. Yeah, that's part of my research too, is I reached out to Steven too, to talk to him about marketing, just to kind of throw around some ideas. But I spent, a night, I think you guys have 14 videos that go through all the business aspects and marketing aspects and all that stuff. They're wonderful. But yeah, I look forward now, these next 2 years is for me to get out there and get people to know who I am and know what I have. Like one of my cliches one of my sayings that I've been putting out on Instagram lately, underneath Ultramel, is it's the new heat. Don't tell anybody. So if I say that more than one time to you, it's just one of those things where people understand. Well, they'll hear that enough times from me, and that's going to be, I comment on how beautiful their animal is, and Ultramel's the next heat. Don't tell anybody with a couple of laughy faces behind it. But it's something that people are going to know that's Evan. Hopefully I don't say it to the same people too many times, but
No, that's
it doesn't
great because
matter.
then we'll start saying it to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
exactly.
Came
I
up
would love
with a
to get that back.
catchphrase. We didn't do that.
Yep.
Catchphrase. Dave.
All right, guys.
Work on it.
I got to call it. I have a blast with you all every time. Those of y'all watching, if you're watching live or on the replay, please support all these folks any way that you can. I appreciate you very much. Primal Scale says I need to talk to Steven. You can reach him very accessibly on Instagram. I can testify to
Hey,
that
give me his
myself.
number.
No,
Let's go on Instagram.
before we end it, Courtney and Steven, is it just Leviathan Snakes on IG?
Leviathan period snakes.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Leviathan period snakes.
Okay.
I think I pulled your page up 2 seconds ago.
So, as always, thank you all very, very much. Let's support each other. Thanks for everybody that watched tonight. I'm blown away by the people I saw in the audience, and I'm not just talking about big names. Like, I really appreciate everybody coming back. Thanks so much. It means the world to me, and it's really fulfilling. So, thank you. I'll see you next Tuesday. I have no idea what I got going on next Tuesday, so if anybody's got any ideas, throw them my way on Instagram or in the comments here. And I will see you all next time. Cheers, everybody.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Still playing.
Yeah, I know. That's how we go away.
But we're all